Southern California, AM-1220 KHTS. The host, Fred Arnold, on the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. Very happy to have my friend Jerry Citarella. Jerry, you look great.
Thank you. I appreciate
know you've been on a fitness kick, huh?
Yeah, I've been keeping it off. I lost 32 pounds last year, training hard. I was at the gym this morning at 5:30, so got to stay there. My wife likes it.
Yeah, your wife likes it, and your kids are going to see you longer.
You know what? That's the most important thing. Actually, what we're going to talk about today, one part of my speech is the fact that I've just increased the length of my life to enjoy my children.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that's what it's all about. But you wrote the book, The Truth, well, hurts, but it really helps.
Yeah,
right?
The truth that hurts, crossed out, helps. Yep.
Yeah, and so let's talk about this event you're putting on, the symposium.
Symposium, yeah. Yeah, the symposium is something I've been dreaming about for years. But if you look on the back of that invitation you're holding, you'll see there's a long list of what's called affiliate partners. Mm-hmm. These are all specialists in my business. They all represent different companies from different fields. Many of them are competitors. To get all of them in one room speaking at one time was next to impossible. In fact, I have 2 or 3 that aren't on there because they can't even put their names on something that has a competitor's name on it. So I'm bringing 13 or 14 different speakers to one meeting to really help people understand and explore the options within the world of financial planning versus what's typical. You come in and you're sold a product.
Now I'm going to give a statistic real quick. I was driving to the gym at 5:30 this morning myself.
We should have gone together.
Yes, and the statistic was that the average family individual in the family has $250,000 in debt, courtesy of the United States government, and the family has $750,000 in debt. And you think about that, well, we got to pay for that eventually.
Somehow.
And the biggest challenge we're going to have is when we retire, there might not be as much funds available for our retirement, 401k, etc. You help people. You help people save for their future. You help people plan for their future.
We help people become independent.
There we go.
Yeah, become independent. And a lot of what there's a saying I always use, which is, let me make sure I can get it out right away. Today's not as good as yesterday, but it's still better than tomorrow.
Right.
And so many people procrastinate because of, name the reason. Mm-hmm. And when you realize how fast time goes by and how important it is more than ever to plan. I mean, I don't think anybody right now could sit here and tell me I'm confident that I'm going to have Social Security, or I'm comfortable my company is going to take care of me with a pension, or I'm going to be okay in retirement.
Ask people about Enron.
Yeah.
They don't have a pension.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful. You have the old American Airlines went bankrupt. We can go story to story to story. You got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
There's no one's going to take care of you but you.
Or just, you used to be able to depend on banks or the stock market or something else. I mean, we do a great job managing money the best we can, but there's just so much more now that there's questions. There are no clear answers to the questions, so you really have to plan better, plan harder, and plan sooner.
So let's just ask. I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Throw some quick questions out in the limited time we have together. Someone's getting ready to start. Now, what's the first thing that you sit down and do? I mean, some people do a budget, some people do this, some people do that. What is the first thing you have to look in the mirror? What's the first thing you have to discuss with the client?
And I guess it really depends on their age. But generally speaking, we talk about their goals first. What are you trying to accomplish? I want to save $350,000 by this date. More generic or more holistic, I guess. What kind of retirement would you like? What kind of lifestyle would you like? How do you feel about your children? I actually ask people, do you like your children? There's a question. Do you want to pay for all your kids' college, or do you think it would make them better people if they paid for part?
Yep.
So really, we can get to the numbers right away and say, how much do you have? How much do you make? How much do you spend? But I kind of like to know people's lives and their answers and a little bit more about them before I get down to the boring stuff. Mm-hmm. Because as I'm asking those boring questions, I like to have a little background when I'm thinking about it. So I think the first place to start is to let somebody get to know you. Mm-hmm. Let an advisor get to know you. If you're doing it on your own, get to know yourself, because some people are in denial even about themselves. Mm-hmm. So get to know the person well, and then really start talking about the numbers and really just do what's necessary to make a good plan and have someone, the book is titled The Truth Helps. If you come in my office, I'm not sugarcoating it. It's that simple. Somebody says to me, how much am I going to need to put away to retire? My answer is often more than you ever possibly could. But let's do the best we can. Mm-hmm. Where many other people will build this fancy chart and graph and make some a lot of times it's you have to save as much as you possibly can. So let's just do it instead of these excuses. And I'm not a big fan of all the big fancy stuff. Let's just get a yellow piece of paper. Here's what you need. Here's how you do it. I'm on your team. I got my arms around you. Let's go get it done.
You know, one thing that I truly believe in, and it's making things automated. For example, 15-year mortgages. For some people, they're the best things in the world because they will never prepay their mortgage, but life always gets in their way of other stuff. So, hey, look, you're always going to have another expense in life. Or some people, 401k, make it automatic.
Pay yourself
first. See it, done first.
Pay yourself first.
Automated. Making things automated is really critical when it comes to things you can always try to put off.
There's no question. There are a lot of people that say, oh, I don't want that coming out of my checking account. My goal with every client is to have them start something and then add to something. You know, that something can be whatever's necessary on a regular basis, definitely monthly. And then I try to set up a plan where 6 months at every year anniversary at most, we increase it at some level. Now, I have some clients that come, and literally, I wish I could tell you her name, because I think you may know her. Had someone come in, and I think we increased her savings by $5 a month. Meaningless, right? No, it's not.
Meaningful.
Because it moved her up a little bit, and she stayed motivated. What typically happens is people get excited, they overcommit, they build a plan based on something that's unrealistic, or they have an advisor that talks them into something that's not appropriate or too much, and then they shut down because they can't keep it going, they have to stop it, and that becomes a negative for them. I like to start people in a place where it's real, and then have them have victories.
Real and realistic.
Real and realistic. And then they have victories. They get excited. They want to continue versus getting discouraged.
Yeah, love it. Good stuff. So let's, real quickly, the date of this event?
The date of the event is Tuesday, November 13th, less than a week away. It's at Valencia Country Club. It's in the evening. We're having food there. We're mostly there for the speakers. This isn't one of those come out and get the best steak in town so I can sell you something events.
Sure.
We're going to give you enough so you're not passed out. But this thing, the meat of this is in the presentation.
That's good stuff. And also you write a column in the newspaper. Look for that.
I write a column weekly, and you can find out more about the event at thetruthhelpsyou.com, all spelled out in the events section.
Perfect. And this is timeless. It's going to go on the internet, so always look for events that Jerry's doing.
Definitely.
Jerry, thanks for all your work in the community.
Thank you, Fred.
I know Youth Project amongst other things.
And American Cancer and whatever I can do.
This guy's involved. If you're thinking about doing business with somebody, one, look at their credentials, and two, see if they're giving back to the community.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Citarella, the author of the Truth Helps series. You've been listening to AM-1220 KHTS.